Good morning, everyone. We are Nadlan broadcasting to you from the East Coast of New York, giving you daily updates from real estate entrepreneurs so you can become one yourself. And today we have post number 3 from our entrepreneur of the week, Amir Ben Bassat. And today's post is about rent to own and lease option. So, who are we? Nadlan is providing real estate courses, mentoring, so you can become an entrepreneur in real estate, financing for Americans and foreign nationals, deal analysis services. Okay, you got a deal, you're not sure about it, talk to us. And great deal offerings from the best entrepreneurs in the business. We have a group of analysts and we analyze deals with entrepreneurs in that business, in the space, and whatever our analysts see as a good deal, we are going to offer that to you. If you like our content, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps with the Google, with YouTube algorithm. Register to our channel and hit the notification button so you can get an alert when we publish new content. It will make sure you get notified about every new video we post and will also help others find our content. And you're also welcome to find us on Facebook, social networks, and on our website, forumrealestateusa.com. So let's get to it, guys. All right, so before jumping into the day post, let's see some news from our community on our website, forumrealestateusa.com. And let's get to the first post. Can anyone in the group offer financing for the purchase of land in Florida? So we're not talking about purchase of a property, but the purchase of land. And this this member is looking for LTV above 80%. So if you can offer something like that, go on our website and comment. Another post. The city is located on the shores of Lake Coeur-d'Alene, Idaho, and is at the top of the list of the hottest emerging housing market in the country, according to new rating launch on Tuesday. So this post is from Tal Levy, one of our mentors. And let's see what's going on. Sounds very interesting. The Evolving Housing Market Index in the Wall Street Journal, Realtor.com, identifies the leading metro areas for home buyers interested in an appreciative housing market and comfortable lifestyle facilities. So you can see beautiful houses, horseback riding. Which other metro areas are in the top 50 out of the 300 metros areas? I will mention those you know best. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, number 1. Austin, Round Rock, Texas, number 3. Springfield, Ohio, number 7. Reno, Nevada. Wow. I remember Reno, Nevada. People spoke about it when no one even knew where it is. And now it's number 7. Number 10, Santa Cruz, Watsonville, California. Number 17, Columbus, Ohio. We have some interesting deals in Columbus, Ohio, multifamily. You're more than welcome to contact us about it. Sacramento, Roseville, Arden, Arcade, California, number 18. Number 21, Boise City, Idaho. Number 25, Toledo, Ohio. Number 26, Rochester, New York. I'm sure Tal is excited about it because this is one of the places that Tal works on most with his investors. 27, Buffalo, Chattanooga, Niagara Falls, New York. Number 31, Boulder, Colorado. Number 32, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Number 40, Trenton, New Jersey. Number 47, Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida. And number 50, Elkhart, Goshen, Indiana. All right, so let's take a look. So this is the full list. Amazing. I'm sure that Tal have a subscription for that, so he could read the entire post, but lucky for us, he gave us the insights. Thank you, Tal. All right, let's move to the next post. Need to sign a contract of sale before a notary. Any notary is suitable, or do you need someone with certain certificate and training? All right, so there are some recommendations here on the website. Can check with Andy and the number. There is also an American notary in Israel who can sign the paperwork, but it's very much depends on the title. Another comment, every notary in the US is suitable as long as you fill in the correct acknowledgement. All right, let's go to the next post. Are there any group members who have invested in South Carolina? I would love for you to share your experience. All right, so let's see any comment for that. Okay. All right, so they mentioned Idor Rosenberg and this one. Which three-tone air conditioner would you recommend for installation from your experience in a Florida property in terms of quality, warranty, and breakdowns? The price is almost the same. Also, is a $3,100 price is a reasonable price, or do you know someone who can offer an air condition at a better price? This is what I was offered. Number 1, ICP air conditioner. Number 2, Goodman air conditioner. So you can see the Goodman here. ICP have different brands, AirQuest, Arcoair, Comfort Maker, etc. You can see it here. So I know from reading this post, first of all, one of the users comments, go to Consumer Reports. This is a great advice. You can go on the website, Consumer Reports, you can subscribe and search for that product. And I can tell you the bottom line, a lot of people recommended the Goodman one. So it is what it is. So this is a great resource that we have a very large community, more than 30,000 people on the website and growing every day. If you are in any doubt of certain material or kind of air condition or something like that, just shoot a post, a comment here on the website and on social media, and you'll get an answer. So this is why we're here for. Without further ado, let's jump into the post of the day after this short break. All right, guys, Entrepreneur of the Week, post number 3, rent to own or lease option. This is an exciting topic, and we are lucky that Amir Ben Bassat is an expert in this topic. And let's see his insights about it. So, following on from the depressing post from yesterday, I'm going to reveal to you 2 methods that gave me a solution to all the same problem as mentioned. 2 methods that help to get the sting out of the deal, are similar but very different, and are suitable for different types of assets in different situations. In this post, we will talk about the first method, rent to own, or lease option, a different name that describes the same transaction. Let's start. What exactly is a lease option? The lease option transaction, as it is called, consists of a lease contract, and an option, purchase option contract. In exchange for the option fee we will receive on the day of signing, the landlord will give the tenant or the buyer a limited and predetermined period to buy the house at a fixed price in advance. Throughout the period, the tenant will be a regular tenant for everything until he manages to get a mortgage and realize the deal. One of the critical points in the transaction and the only significant difference in tenant rights between a lease option transaction and a regular rental is the question of maintenance. In a regular lease, all maintenance expenses fall on the landlord. However, in a lease option transaction, all current maintenance expenses up to a certain limit are the responsibility of the tenant. Wow, this is really great. This is exciting. That is, if there is a blockage in the toilet or a leaking kitchen sink, the tenant will have to call the plumber at his own expense. If there is a leaking roof that needs replacement, the responsibility is still our as the homeowners. How does lease option give us a solution? I like to compare this to the difference between a rental car and a leasing car. Anyone who has rented a car knows exactly how it behaves. Poor car. However, when you get a leasing car, when you are responsible for its maintenance and you have an aspiration to buy it at the end of the period, chances are we will treat that car differently as if it were already ours. Now think about it. We have a tenant who put us a few $1,000s on the day of signing in exchange for the right to purchase the house during the period. If the tenant does not pay on time, he will lose the option fee. So he has an interest in being a good boy and meeting payments like clockwork. We will combine this together with the fact that he is also responsible for the maintenance expenses, and we got a tenant with a much less collection problem and no maintenance calls. That's amazing. Now, if we have such a tenant who does not have to chase after him and who does not call about maintenance problem, why do we even need a management company? If things work out right, all that is left is to make sure water company payments as needed, pay taxes online twice a year, and submit monthly bank accounts statement to the CPA at the end of the year. It is worth paying so much money to a management company if that's all the work there is. Very subjective, but usually not. What happens if it does not work properly and there is a problem with the tenant? It is important to emphasize that the lease option deal is not a promise of return or quiet, and here two problems may arise with tenants. You may still encounter collection issues, evictions, damages, and any issues that may arise similar to renting to a regular tenant. Our whole goal is to improve profitability and lower the chance of falling for a wayward tenant who, without much effort, will obliterate our entire year's return. So how do you deal with problems? Simple. Pay as needed. A tenant stopped paying and stopped cooperating, we will pay a lawyer or property manager who will do an eviction for us. Need to prepare the property for rent again? It will not be very complicated to bring someone to refresh the house for a fee. Bottom line is, in most cases, an investor I work with completely give up on the services of the management company. So, is everything looks good? How do you make money out of it? Three main profit centers in lease option transaction. Number one, the option fee is non-refundable, capital letters. The amount of the payment varies depending on the price of the property and your ability to negotiate. Number two, we saved 10% management fees. We saved another 10% on average on maintenance expenses, which means we saved 20% gross altogether. Everyone is welcome to check how much 20% of the gross is worth to him net. Usually it's reached to 50% improvement in profit at the end of the year. Were you supposed to earn 8% on the regular rental deal? Congratulations. The deal now produces 11 to 12% net. This is awesome. The icing on the cake, the sales stage, number three. Unlike a regular sale in the market, in this case, we already have the buyer in hand, which means the hocus pocus, we saved 6% brokerage fees. Wow. If we wanted to sell the house and get to a top dollar for it, we probably would have had to invest quite a bit of money in the house, in the renovation to bring it to the level required for sale to a landlord. Savings of many thousands of dollars. Anyone who has sold a home in the US knows that in many areas it is common to ask for seller concessions. The price of the house is already fixed and we have no obligation to make discounts to the buyer. On average, at this stage, we will save about 10 to 15% on the sale expenses for a house of 100K. We save 10 to 15K, or in other words, a profit of 2 years from rentals. So after I ate your head, an example will be populated for the lease option transaction. A house of an investor that I really like, the name is kept in the system, in the city of South Euclid. The house has not worked for a long time. A rebellious management company that made a lot of problems. A tenant who smelled blood and did not pay rent for many months. A lot of damage. Failing to make the property work. All right, so we started working. First stage, preparation of the property for rent. Mainly cosmetic renovation in the kitchen and bathroom, a new heating system, and a garage door that was replaced after it almost fell on one of the employees. What happens if it falls on a tenant? Step 2, marketing, the most important thing. The most challenging part, but if there is a good house in a good area, everything becomes easier. Prices of similar houses in the area will be about 100K to 120K with a bribe of $1,250 to $1,350 per month rent. We were able to bring a tenant, a registered nurse who works at the Cleveland Clinic like most of our tenants. The tenant deposited $6,500 option fee plus the first month of rent at the time of signing the contract. We closed on an option contract for a total of $139,000 for a period of 18 months and a payment of $1,350 a month. Now, that we're Israelis, we are always looking for the catch. All this good can not make sense, right? If it's too good, it's probably not, right? So after nearly 2 years of researching the field, I was able to find one drawback in the whole method. It is not possible to sell the house during the option period. All right, so if you're looking to sell the house during the time, but you know what? Most of us are buying these houses and taking a 30 years mortgage, not in order to sell them after 2 years, right? We are looking for long-term retirement. This is not entirely accurate. I have had cases where I sold a lease option deal between investors, but everything was transparent. All parties today are aware of the owner's debt and have pledged to honor the old agreement. So basically, Amir is telling us that he was able to sell a debt. He was able to sell the lease to another investor, maybe for a higher price. Still, if you have plans to sell the property in the next 2 years, this is probably not the deal for you. On the other hand, if you do not mind waiting and getting a lot more money than you are supposed to, if the tenant succeeds in realizing the deal, in my opinion, this is the deal for you. Some answers to frequently asked questions. So does every house is suitable for that? All right, let's see the answer. Any house that people will be happy to buy and a bank will agree to finance will fit. If the house is not in a good condition, it will probably not meet the 2 criteria I mentioned. Is it possible to take out a home mortgage loan? Yes, if done right. I do not want to sell. I plan to hold the asset for many more years and do not sell asset as an ideology. Excellent. If I were to offer you today 30% more than the market value of the house in cash, would you accept the offer to buy a similar house and be left with a surplus? If the answer is no, the deal will probably not suit you. Why should I let someone the bank refuses to give me a mortgage to live in my house? There's so many people who are not eligible for a mortgage for various reasons, the main one being low credit score. Anyone who knows how the method works knows that it is easy to degrade the score, but correcting it takes time. In most cases, these same tenants earn high salaries, but mistakes made in the past make it difficult for them to get a mortgage right now. All they need is a little boost and guidance. Don't get me wrong, 95% to 98% of the referrals I get for every home I market are from people who not only do not qualify for the lease option, nor would I rent the home to them on a regular basis. My job is to know how to filter those tenants to bring in a good tenant with a high fulfillment potential. So another question, why would a tenant agree to this? The $1,000,000 question. Let's start from the end. You need to know how to sell a lease option. It is important to understand that we are in many cases the only ones who offer the same buyer an option and horizon for the purchases of a home. Because basically these tenants currently with the credit situation cannot buy a home anywhere else. So they need to get this option. The tenant can enter it today, enjoy today's market price, but buy it in the future. So if the tenant believes that the price is going to go up, they can lock the price today. If there is an increase in value, he made a profit, usually an increase in value in the sale price. As we mentioned, it could be that part of the user goes in favor of the purchase, and then it does not throw money in the trash. Is this the best economic decision you can make? Probably not. I'm not here to teach classes in financial education, and beyond that, I always argue that it is not cheap to be poor, both financially and in education. So who is responsible for tax and insurance payment? The landlord. The house has not yet been sold, and all of these obligations still apply to us, similar to a regular rental. Does part of the rent go to at the time of the sale in favor of the tenant? Depending on what is defined in the contract as part of the negotiation, a point that can be problematic, and therefore it is advisable to consult someone who understands the issue. Is the option fee refundable to the tenant? The option fee does not return to the tenant under any circumstances. If the tenant decides to exercise the option fee will be deducted in his favor at the sale. So another question, is there a registration or transfer of ownership in the registry? No. In lease option transactions, there is no sale operation. The sale is a side effect of the deal. So is it possible to cancel the deal? No. Like any signed deal, there is a contract that requires both parties to abide by it. So if there are any more questions, feel free to comment. All right, so we can see a house here with a rent to own, no credit check, with a phone number. And let's see some questions. All right, you can scroll down all the way to the back, to down. So let's see. Someone mention a comment. How do you decide on the initial payment amount at first? Looks dumb, whoever does this instead of improving his credit and then buying after 2 years. Why would someone pay more than 2 years that he can improve the credit on his own and then buy for himself? Especially one with credit issues, so he has no extra money to spend. This is a deal that is very difficult to market, in my opinion. So, honestly, there was an answer here, like someone that currently believes that the prices are going to go up. And they want to, for example, in today's situation, people believe, some people think that it's a bubble. Some people think that the prices will just go up. So basically getting into such a contract locks the price for today. Another comment, do you manage to make such transaction remotely from Israel? And if so, how do you reach potential buyers? So Amir is actually living right there in the location. So he's doing it right there, but some investor might do it remotely. In the case you described, the management fee will be about $1,000 a year, which is very, very reasonable in order to reduce the headache. All right. Another comment, detailed and accurate explanation. Now I also want it. Another comment, how detailed and clear you write. I think I'm ready to start with rent to own tomorrow. All right, this is a Eyal Price comment, one of our active members. Another one, thank you for sharing, Amir. Excellent explanation of the strategy, assuming that you do not use a management company and that the tenants are not approved by a bank for a loan in favor of a purchase. What are the criteria that you check to choose the right tenant? Guy Sheffer continues our conversation. Sounds awesome. Sounds interesting. Why I chose to invest in Cleveland, Ohio. All right, this is the post. All right, so it was amazing post today, and thank you very much, Amir, and we will be with you tomorrow. Post number 4. Bye.